Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I just got out of the theater seeing the new movie Nope, directed by Jordan Peele, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, and Steven Yeun. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So in this video, this will be a spoiler-free review talking about my thoughts on the movie in general. So if you guys enjoy this review, please make sure to like it. Please subscribe if you're new, as we keep up with all the new movies and TV shows and do some trailer reactions as well. But let's get into talking about Nope. So I'm just going to come out and say this right away. Well, I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele. I commend this guy so much for starting out doing skits on Comedy Central and YouTube. And now some people call him the best horror director of all time. That was like a debate on Twitter yesterday. And I do think he's one of the best modern horror directors that we have right now. Get Out and Us, I absolutely loved. I stand by the fact that I do think Get Out is the best modern horror film of the modern times. I think it's such a genius script. Such an intricate story, the soundtrack there, just the stylistic choices that he did, like the editing and like the whole everything about the movie, I think is so perfect. And I actually like Us a lot more than some others do. I think that's a great movie as well, brilliant idea, and that was executed very well. So for Nope, I had a lot of high expectations. I wanted something in the same realm of Get Out and Us. But what makes Nope very different is that it's really not horror. The grand idea of it, like aliens and UFOs, that is horror. But this is more of like a Close Encounters of Third Kind type of horror. Anyone that's seen that movie is more about alien hunting and sort of like discovering these aliens. And it wasn't really horror, but like the idea of like these extraterrestrial beings being out there is a scary thought. So this is a very different sort of realm for Jordan Peele. And I have to say personally for me, this movie was a bit of a miss for me. I was a bit disappointed with Nope. And let me just tell you why. The first hour, it's a lot of setup. It's a lot of getting to know these characters, which is very important for the story. You want to know these characters and build the story, obviously, in the beginning. I think you just spent too much time doing that. A lot of it was sort of like, well, the story is about they see this UFO, right? And they want to capture this UFO on camera so they can become famous, so they can go on Oprah and they can be well known as the people that caught real-life aliens on camera for the first time. That's the main story. So in the beginning, it's sort of just like setting it up to where it's like, okay, there's a UFO out there, and these characters want to take a picture of it. And so, for the first half, it's really just that there are some flashbacks into these characters, like I said, getting to know them a little bit more. Steven Yeun's character is like, he's like this ranch farmer, amusement park owner guy. We get flashbacks into his character involving his own little story, which the reason why I don't even want to focus on that is because it kind of goes nowhere. When you're first watching it, it's interesting, and I was actually even saying to myself, I can't wait to see how this plays into like the grand scheme of these UFOs and these other characters. But by the end, it doesn't connect really, I don't think, unless there's some metaphorical thing there that I'm missing. That all felt like a waste of time for me in the beginning, having all those weird flashbacks. And then, like I said, so we're setting up for these aliens. Like, obviously, we get some sort of alien encounters throughout this movie. I found those to be very anticlimactic. There is a huge twist that Jordan Peele does with these aliens that I won't spoil. I will say that was very creative, very ambitious. It makes the film very different from other type of alien movies. But it's also a big swing for the fences, and I think it was just a swing and a miss for me. I think I didn't connect with it. At times I thought it was silly. I wish he sort of actually made it more of a traditional alien extraterrestrial sort of story instead of trying to make it something too different, because I think it would have worked a little bit better. There are some things from an alien movie that, not that I expect, but that I want. There are certain questions that I want characters to ask themselves when they encounter like extraterrestrial beings. Like, they should be questioning like their own humanity. They should be questioning this thing in the air. They should have some sort of intellectual conversations about like this alien being that is out there, and that it was sort of non-existent in this movie. There's a lot of like hollering about like, we need to be famous, we need to get an Oprah, we gotta like get this thing on camera. Like, there was never any why questions, and that's sort of like was something that I was hoping for in this movie, because I think Jordan Peele is a very smart director, and I think though that would be a fun conversation to have with his kind of directing. Also, speaking on his directing, it's not a bad movie at all. There's the cinematography, there are some great shots. Special effects were very good. There were some great shots I feel like would have been better in an IMAX setting. I wish I saw this in IMAX. I didn't. But there wasn't any of like that stylistic atmosphere that I wanted from him that I got in Get Out or that I got in Us. There were some scenes where it was good tension, but like not on the same level. I didn't feel like scared or tense really, and I think that's because of the alien twist that he puts into it. Like I said, it felt silly for me, even though it is creative. It never felt like this high stakes thing that I had to care for, or that I even wanted to care for. It felt like this very silly thing that all these characters wanted was to get famous and take a picture of these aliens, and that's the whole story. There really isn't much there else to dissect or talk about, at least from a first viewing. I'm sure maybe on a second viewing, or as I read some more articles or read some more opinions, maybe stuff that I missed. Maybe there's stuff there that I'd want to see on a rewatch. Other things I look for, I would say the performances are good. Keke Palmer is actually a lot of fun to watch. I liked her character. Dan Kaluuya is always good. This isn't like some outstanding performance like in Get Out or in the Oscar-winning performance of Judas and the Black Messiah. Like, he doesn't really need to put in that kind of performance here. It's not what his character really is there for. But like, the acting was fine. Like I said, everything else though didn't really blow me away in terms of like the editing, the atmosphere. Like I said, the actual alien stuff, it just didn't do it for me. It felt very like I said, silly, anticlimactic, and not really what I was looking for. I feel like from this type of director who just made Get Out and Us, I should have been more invested. It should have been more of an intricate storyline. Like, the whole script feels very messy as well, which it actually boggles my mind saying that, because I think Get Out is one of the tightest scripts I've ever seen put to screen. So the fact that Nope feels like messy, like I said, some scenes just lead to nowhere. Like, there's this whole story with Steven Yeun's background that goes nowhere. Like I said, like, it's just, like, what was the point of all that? It just makes me think, like, now that I'm pondering right after seeing it, like, some more problems come up the more I think about it. So that's just not good. I don't really want to think about it like that. And so then by the time the whole thing wraps up, it does feel like wasted potential by the end. Again, it felt like the credits rolled and I was like, is there something else? Like, was there something I was missing? Like, I never really cared for the story. I never cared for these characters that much. I felt like the movie didn't really give me enough to really make me feel like invested. So much time I felt was not filler or boring, but it did feel like a lot of like nothing at times. Like, it felt like I wanted them to push the story forward so many times throughout the first half and in the beginning of the second half, and it just didn't. When I think something was happening, it's like, oh, that's not really what it is. It's something else. When the story was being pushed forward, it was mostly just like an alien attack, and then the alien goes away, and then the characters are like, let's try and capture it again this time, And it's like, just time after time, it's them trying to just capture this alien on camera. And I felt like that just wasn't enough for me to be sucked in or invested or really, like, it just wasn't what I was expecting from Jordan Peele. I expected a little bit more from him. And I think it's just, he needs to not stick to horror. Like, I know that he can probably do some other things that are cool. And this is a very Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Poltergeist sort of feel to it, which is good. Like, I love those movies. I just don't think it hits the same mark as those movies did. So my rating for this movie is a 3 out of 5. It's like a low 7 for me. It's not a bad movie, like I said. It just really wasn't for me. And I think, some people are going to love the twist of the aliens and they'll think it's new and creative and they absolutely love it. And maybe they love these characters. And even some of the comedy aspects in this didn't really resonate for me. Like, one or two times I chuckled. Some people in the crowd were laughing out loud at times as well. But a lot of it missed. Like, there was a little bit too much of the jokes in it for me. But also in Get Out, there are plenty of jokes that I actually laughed. So this movie just didn't resonate with me, didn't hit with me. And that's upsetting to say, because like I said, this is my most anticipated, and I'm really upset that I didn't enjoy this. But that doesn't mean that you have to not enjoy it as well. I've already seen some great reviews for this, so I hope it does well. I love Jordan Peele, like I said. I wish the best for him, and I hope that this movie does succeed and people do enjoy it. And maybe on a rewatch, I can like it even more. But for right now, at this time, I'm a little bit disappointed. So if you guys enjoyed this review, please make sure to like it. Please subscribe if you're new. If you've seen Nope, let me know down below. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. But I will see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of the day.